Greetings, fellow cobblers, Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Oxygen Not Included Aquatic. Episode 9, The Dupes with Shiny New Boots. And are we researching? Yep, we are currently researching the Vulcanizer. Perfect. So the Vulcanizer, if you're wondering, is a part of the Aquatic Planet Pack. So that's new as part of this DLC. I might also want to, including exosuit, add in the weight plates so that we can weight plate illuminate some of the crafting spots. But that's sort of like a to be done eventually, not a I want to do that right now. And as you can see, this room is just a miscellaneous room. It's never really going to have a specific purpose. Did I make a plant? Wait, hold on. What did I make that plant pulverizer out of? I made it out of coquina. I guess that's fine. So I'm gonna put it back. We don't have a lot of siltstone, but there's nothing wrong with coquina. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't making out of something that was gonna like overheat. Because a lot of these refiners, you know, if you refine and the refinery generates a lot of heat, you end up having the refinery itself melt down. That's a real problem that frequently happens. So I queued up the plant pulverizer to refine some Goodwin into latex. And the other thing we're probably going to want is, and maybe I'll put it here, a box for gumwood. It's not the best location, but, you know, everything's in progress. It's interesting, the pressurization of this oxygen. Obviously it's generating and it's way higher pressure here, but it really hasn't equalized super quickly. But because we just mined out a void here, it will find itself there eventually. Okay, and now we have the Vulcanizer. So the Vulcanizer requires refined metals. I'm not gonna right now make a metal refinery. That's more like when we want steel, we'll do it. So let's go ahead and plug this bad boy in, and then we'll vulcanize our first batch. So I'm having this run on a separate transformer. So that and I'll probably have a few different transformers, or maybe a higher watt transformer for the crafting room, because there's a lot of things in the crafting room that will require more than kilowatt. Like the metal refinery, for instance, requires 1.2 kilowatts to run, which means you can't run it off of the low watt wires, the standard wires. We would probably, what makes the most sense is to research low resistant conductors and run it off of conduit wire, which is a 2K watt line. And then to have another, you know, do a little bit more research into higher watt lines, the large transformers, which can do up to 4 kilowatts or something like that. We'll have to figure out exactly what that would look like after some research. Something else we could do for fun is to put in a fire pole. It's one of the reasons why I had a too wide... I mean, the reason for a too wide vertical shaft was to have gases be able to pass one another, because if it's only one wide, you can have pockets of oxygen and carbon dioxide get stuck. But also, the fire pole will help out a lot. And that's something we got when we researched the Vulcanizer. So, before I queue up the next project, I'm going to wait a little while so that Rayvac, who is our operator, can also make some latex. And we can make some refined metals to be able to make the Vulcanizer itself. Rayvac, being the researcher, really ought not to pick up cooking. So I'm not going to give him cooking. I'm going to give him mechatronics. How goes it, Alden? It goes pretty good. I mean, I'm a little under the weather. I'm sure you can hear my voice sounds strange. But apart from that, doing pretty good. So here we go. We have a little bit of liquid latex in here. The liquid latex is not super hot because it hasn't gone through like a heating process. So it's only 33°C of liquid latex. And then once we get the rock crusher to be able to refine a small batch of metals, we'll be able to vulcanize it. And then with the Vulcanizer, we'll be able to craft some equipment, potentially. Wow. Give me a fungal spore, I guess, because the rest are losers. An anemic dive master. Oh, yeah! Drown! Maybe drown! Said nobody ever. Alright, so in here, we're going to put gumwood. Not gunwood, Jesus. Gumwood. Because pretty much all the gumwood is just going to go in through the plant pulverization process, more or less. What was that warning? Someone was trapped for a second? I hate when the game's like, "Wah!" And like, it disappears so quickly, you're like, well, whatever that was, I'm sure it was important. But I'll never know. Okay, oops, I forgot. So, this other half of the... There we go. Other half of the irrigation dried up. I probably noticed within a cycle or two, I imagine. But yeah, we'll fix that. Oh, let's also, and I'm sure I'm going to do this often. So this liquid reservoir is full of germ-free, clean water. As you can see, I'm in the germ overlay right now. So what I want to do is shut this off and turn this on to then pull in more of the polluted water, which will go through the detox loop. And at some point, let's make it now. At now point, I am going to cut off water supply so that this tank can feed our plumbing. So I'm going to stick a liquid bridge in here and have my clean, potable water then feed our shower, sinks, and toilets. Closing the loop, if you will. Okay, looking good. These beacon are happy and satisfied and glowing, producing lots of lovely oxygen for free. And we just need a little bit more wires to plug this all in. Also, we just dumped some liquid water from here. As you can see, it, once bottled, goes all the way down. And we're almost done with this transformer. And now the fire pole is in as well. Oh, that's not great. We easily could increase a lot of speed of maneuvering around if we added a ladder there. I'm glad I noticed. Okay, so the rock crusher's on. We have two different power grids now. We have the crafting grid and the everything else grid. And at some point, we're going to need to split up the everything else grid. I don't think it's ever gone close to its potential load, because there's a lot of things that just like wouldn't turn on all at once. Like this pump has like never been on, for instance. This pump has no reason to turn on anymore. So that's like already almost 500 watts of potential load that we wouldn't ever use. But still, it'd be in our best interest to have that never be a possibility. So here in refinement, I'm going to add the Vulcanizer. And the Vulcanizer is going to take... What's the wattage of the Vulcanizer? I forget. 480? Okay. That's fine. Done. And now we'll be able to vulcanize our latex into rubber. Once that's built. So in terms of equipment, Rayvac has nothing. No footwear, no clothing. RCV has no footwear. And then Avalka, where'd she go? Has no clothing. So there's a whole lot of need for vulcanized rubber. So let's go ahead and queue that up. We can make 2 batches for now. Turning that into rubber. And this is a CO2 emitter. I still don't have a CO2... Actually, I'll add that to the project. Speaking of which... And let's add rubber to our tracked materials. All right, another thing we're going to want in here is the standard crafting station. And then we're also going to want a clothing. So we're going to do textile loom and start researching that. Cheers. Actually, let me do it like this. I'll just tack it on in the end. leaving this more open. So the crafting station here, that's warning me about ammo suits. The crafting station here can now make rubber gaskets. So I'm going to take half of the rubber we've made so far and to turn it into gaskets. And then I'll make some more latex into rubber as well. Once Ravac's done. So we just picked up artistic expression, and that might not be a terrible thing to implement in our was there a nautical style? Yeah, let's do nautical style. In our Great Hall. Oops. Let's try it. See how we like it. Artistic expression also opens up sculpting, pedestals for special objects, hanging pots, and wall pots. So we can start to work on making things look nicer if we want to improve the standard decor. I'm not going to jump on that right now. It's not really my priority, but it's just something we could do. How you doing, Quantum? How's your week going? Okay, looks good. So now the bathrooms are being fed by the recycled water. I like it. And I'm going to add to the priority and craft clothing. Because, that was the main driver. So the textile loom is what makes both the swimwear and rubber boots. So that's what we're currently working on down here in research, getting that loom going. And then we also have drywall that can be unlocked, which adds considerably more beauty if we want. It's pretty labor intensive to drywall up things, but it's a possibility. I'm surprised no one's leveled up. I feel like I haven't assigned skill points in a long time. The other thing to look at, just in case, is I haven't looked at my what's allowed in the bins in a while. So I just want to review to make sure that there isn't anything ridiculous. No, it all seems fine. I'm going to allow clothing into the... I don't really think I need to. Never mind. Okay, yeah, the bins look fine. They don't need to change settings. I was worried that they would allow sublimators, but it wouldn't have added that on its own. Oh, another sandy shell. Cool. Not that we have a germ problem. I mean, this is the germ map. It's pretty free of germs. There's two germy things, which is the toilets. And even then, the germs die pretty quickly, because it's not a polluted oxygen environment. So because I have research going, we're not processing the latex, which is fine because that's mostly Ravak's specialty. This is really just business as usual for the rest of them. But we are putting all the gumwood where the gumwood needs to be, because I knew the use for gumwood ahead of time, so we've been harvesting these wild trees for many cycles now. So we just have a lot of natural wood that we've accrued. The only thing I'm kind of worried about is overpressure. We haven't really hit overpressure yet, but like we are generating an immense amount of oxygen, more than our dupes are using. Oh, okay. That scared me. I'm not even gonna bother auto harvesting the soda cane here anymore. It's we have too much food as it is. That looks nice. I like the nautical. And what that does there is just increases the decor, so that when people sit in the room there, it's just even a higher driver. Not a big deal, but it's a little something something. Alright, textile production is now done. And I'm gonna put a pause on research for a little bit. So that Rhadamant can help to produce the clothing that we want. Which will be helpful for stress and prevent slipping and sopping wet conditions. I kind of wish they didn't have bottomless stomach. I would have probably printed up that dupe. I don't want one that can't do digging. And then building impaired is fine, but I'd rather have them have multiple passions. So puffed eggs it is. And egg smashing is what I do. You always have problems with high or low pressure in the game? Yeah, if you allow a lot of airflow, it helps out a lot. Like, my central column of my colony here has like 4 wide airflow. So the breathability, pressure equalizes pretty quickly. Also, if I really wanted to, I could either kill off all the beacons that are illuminating the flue coral to produce less oxygen, or to cap it off so it overpressurizes or something, but I don't feel the need to do that. Too much oxygen is not something I'm going to complain about. Popped eardrums is, I don't think we have any popped eardrums yet, but like even if we did, it'd be like, okay, whatever, I'll just compensate for, somehow. So we've got 2 new rubber gaskets made by Rhadamant, I assume. Here they are. And that allows us to build more tidal power if we want. We've got drywall with a big decor bonus. So like... Oh, don't use Coquina. Just as an example of drywall, let's put a tower kelp canopy. Oh, the bright beacon. A bright beacon made of... That's actually kind of hideous. Let's just do aqua specs. Yeah. Here. Just to pretty it up. For fun. what happened to the Jeremy pool that got peed in? So the Jeremy pool was down here, and germs will naturally die off. And sorry, I missed your question for a bit. Germs will naturally die off unless it's a polluted environment. So if germs were introduced into this polluted water, they would replicate or, you know, they would pollute it farther. But germs in clean water will just die off eventually on their own. And that's essentially what happened. Was all of the polluted water, which was the origin source of the germs, got mopped up and dealt with. And then the leftover clean water just self-corrected, essentially. Okay, textile loom. So, let's do... I forget. We need clothing and footwear. Clothing and footwear. So we need 2 of each. So 2 swimsuits. Now the problem with the swimsuits is I don't have a lot of feather fibers for the swimwear. But the rubber boots, you know, the rubber boots I can make regardless. And as far as the feather fibers go, let's see if there's an alternative actually. Swim. Suit. No. Swimwear. Thanks. Super useful. That tells me nothing. Okay. Wow, there's nothing on the wiki? That seems weird. Oh, there it is. Two reed fibers is the requirement. I don't think there's an alternative to that. Got it. Let's see. I don't have any relevant seeds. Although I do see thimble reeds over here. So it is possible sometime down the line to get thimble reeds and to cultivate them for more reed fibers so that everyone can have swimwear. But that might be a while. Hey, GK, thank you for the resub. Cheers. So at the very least, I'll have everyone in boots and then one more swimwear. And probably the swimwear for not Rayvac, because RCV and Avalka do a lot more swimming than Rayvac does. So if you take a look at the decor here is a lot higher as a result of the tiles. Well, not a lot higher from the tiles, but higher. All right, the other thing I wanted to research was hazard protection. I'm going to go back to that. Well, no, let me wait until I get the actual clothing that I wanted. So we're just waiting on more vulcanization, more pulverizing wood to Vulcanizer loop. We have a glow squid. So, I think this is the first glow squid we've seen. I had a glow squid egg that I assume this is what hatched out of it. Yep, the egg's missing. So, the glow squids eat tublia and excrete abyssalite, which is pretty freaking weird. So abyssalite is obviously the stuff that divides the biomes. And they can be milked for squid ink, which can be refined into refined carbon, I guess. Yeah. If you want squid ink, I don't see the need for that, at least in the near future, so it's not something I suspect I'm going to start ranching for. But it's cool to have a new critter down here. And they're normally passive unless they're around their eggs. So they're kind of like the pokey shells, where once they lay an egg, they get pretty pissed. Like this one, who's pissed, protecting its roe. All right. Well, at some point, I think... Oh, what is... Oh, it's me. I was like, what is the holdup here? It's not. I forgot to set up rubber to be vulcanized. Oh, God. Head cold brain is bad. Alright, we're good. We'll have the boots soon. Now that my brain caught up to my plans. Like you do. And then I'm going to have you guys vote on next thing. Here it is. Recreation room. Add more tidal power. Now that we have rubber gaskets, that's very easy to do. Improve the power infrastructure so that it's more like organized and scalable. Build CO2 filtering. Or set up exosuit docks. Set up the bounds of our colony, if you will. Alright, so everyone should have rubber boots now. And a little reminder, the rubber boots protects the wearer from soggy feet and slippery floors. And then I'm about to have enough for swimwear as well. Didn't I have feather fibers? I swear I did. If I could spell it. Oh, I already made one swimwear. Oh, okay, that's what's going on. We couldn't make the second one. So that would be Valka's, I think. Yeah. Clothing, swimwear. And protects from soggy feet and sopping wet. And wearing both protects us from sopping wet, soggy feet, and slippery floors. Which is the point. So she's not wearing it yet, but she will. One more minute to vote in the polls. There we go. Avalka's wearing the swimwear. And now both the Vulcan and RCV won't be negatively affected by water unless it's like way too hot or way too cold or something. But then even these clothing that we have now will also protect them from... they have some insulate... They're an insulator so that it will be effective to protect them from some environmental temperatures as well. So, you know, it does a lot. So if you haven't voted yet, you got 20 seconds left to do it, but right now we're in a bit of a tie, which is between improving power infrastructure and setting up exosuit docks. So if you have a preference between them, please feel free to vote. I would love for you guys to break the tie rather than for me to do it. All right, exosuit docks wins by a hair. Current priority, set up, make exosuits, and set up exosuit docks. So the northern dock is very obvious. It's going to be right here. We've already established that. The southern dock, however, is going to be a minute because, one, we don't have a liquid lock down there, and two, it's not clear where the bottom even should be. Like, I think it's sensible to include this, like, natural pool as part of the exosuit, or as part of the colony, because it doesn't really hurt us to have it as part of the colony. So maybe a dock here going down this way, or a dock here going down this way. It's like, it could 6 of one, half dozen of the other. It doesn't really, I might end up having you guys vote. If we do have an exosuit dock here, it does limit the scalability of this design, but like, that's fine. But for right now, I'm going to work on the top dock. Now, one of the things I want to do in the top dock is put tile there so that I can excavate another layer without all of the salt water dumping on my head. All right, give me omelets. Now that I have omelets, I'm going to put omelets in the refrigerator that does processed foods. And there we go. Now, prepping for an exosuit dock, I also want it to be all tiled so that movement speed is increased. And then we're probably going to want to wall off this tidal turbine and have some sort of vertical shaft go up, displacing everything that is in our way so that we can like get to space reasonably quick, which is like a big ask. But that's not in the scope of the project right now. That's just like in the future. You know, and we can displace this water pretty easily by excavating out this sand and then building a wall and pushing the water over or something like that. What achievement did I get? Oh, we ate an omelet that I was given for free. Yes. Achievement. Yeah, I totally did that. All right, so we have 400 kilograms of rubber and 2 extra gaskets. That's cool. So we are currently researching improved ventilation, and then eventually we're going to get hazard protection. Now, the only issue with the top dock up here is right now we're producing oxygen here. So I'm going to probably want a gas pump here, and then to pipe this up to the exosuit dock up top. Additionally, I think it makes sense to make sure it's oxygen. And there's not a good spot for that. Maybe here above the... Oh, that's just so jank. I'll do it right here, then. So because we produce a ton of oxygen here, I think reliably I can say it almost always will be oxygen when we put it here. But what I'm going to do is gas pipe it, and then if oxygen, go up. If not oxygen, it's probably carbon dioxide, and in that case, go down. Now, it's very likely we're going to have overpressurization issues, given that everything is high pressure. So I'm probably going to want to use high pressure gas vents, which won't have, we won't have to worry about overpressurization, which means making some rubber gaskets, because every high pressure vent requires a gasket. So I'm going to add a gasket there. And, you know, we'll have the docks fed by this vent. You love this way of oxygen generation? Yeah, me too. Use what the environment gives you for free. Don't reinvent the wheel. Thank you for tuning in to Oxygen Not Included Aquatic, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any questions for me, let me know in the comments below. I'm not, however, looking for feedback. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow dupes.